first, if you could just look back really on Monday's game against Fresno State, just what did you like? Another close game down the stretch, and it seems like you guys continue to learn from those games one at a time, really.
Yeah, we knew that was going to be a tough game, and having played them so recently, and in that game that we played them at home, we were trailing pretty much, through 3.5 quarters of that game. So we knew it was going to be tough, and I thought our team was extremely tough in that game. And we did a great job of just keeping it close throughout the game, and different people stepped up and made different plays. I thought Nia was fantastic off the bench for us. Deja, was very solid and very efficient in that game. And Allie Jimenez, I thought, shot the ball extremely well. And then Lexi Givens, who'd been scoring well, didn't have a big offensive night, but she had 10 rebounds. And so just different people doing different things to help us win. So I thought it was a total team win.
Talk about character. I mean, what does that just say about this group? If there's a couple words that you could describe, first, just the overall group, what would you say at this point in the season?
I think they're extremely resilient, and they're very tough. And they don't get bothered by too much. I think the way that we've played in close games and things like that, they really do a great job of staying in the moment, and they're focused on the outcome. Like, how do we get to that outcome in each play? And they're really fun to coach, to be honest, because they really want to win. They care about winning, and they're not selfish at all. And I think they're really bought in to the team and how can we be successful. And they're great teammates to each other. I think they really take care of each other.
Coach, not selfish and bought in, some words you used right there. Does that, I'm guessing that applies as well to all the seniors you got, coming up. Just simply, it's a simple question, but you go a lot of different ways with it. Well, what have all those seniors meant to your program?
Yeah, Amaya was our first signee when I was hired here, and so she's been through the highs and lows and ups and downs of everything, and just continued to get better every single year. And I think her and Deja really provide a great deal of leadership because they have so much game experience, so much just training out of season experience. And I think people really look up to them. And Nia also, Nia's been here now 3 years too, so almost as long as them. And they're all very consistent. We can count on them every single day in practice, what they're going to bring. And in games too, they know what the team needs from them. So I think that they've just been, great role models to the younger players. And we've talked to them about what is their legacy going to be when they leave Nevada? And your wins and losses, people celebrate that, but your impact on your teammates is everlasting. And so I think that they've done an amazing job of just being great leaders, great teammates. And I think that they've influenced the rest of the team that will last forever.
You mentioned influence too. Just from your own personal perspective, how have you seen them really influence these younger players, especially this season?
I think just the way that they come to practice every day. They kind of set the standard of this is what we do here. This is how hard we go and things like that. And obviously putting Kylie in that group too. She's only been here a year, but she's been so impactful with just who she is. And I think she kind of sets the tone of the unbothered part of the team. If you watch her play, she is so steady, and that allows other people to remain calm and steady as well. So I think all of them have really, influenced people in a really great way.
Senior night when pausing for reflection and celebration and kind of saying goodbye to a certain chapter, but knowing there's still so much ahead of you guys?
Yeah, that's why we do it after the game. We don't like to get focused on that or get too emotional, I guess, with it. And it's just a way, I think, just to celebrate them and kind of thank them. And it also gives them an opportunity because we do a video after the game where they get to thank everybody as well, and they get to, talk to the fans and things like that. And then we do a post-game reception where everybody is invited. So it's just a great way for them to play their last regular season home game and just make it kind of about them after the game. So I don't think within our team that they get too focused on that because we don't really talk about it too much until the game is over. Well, I mean, that's what we recruited them to do, and that's what they, came here to do. So their impact on us from a wins and loss standpoint is pretty incredible. They changed the trajectory of our program completely. And I think in the years that follow, the trajectory will remain that direction because of them. And to know that, I think that's what it's about, and that's what you want to do when you choose a program. You want to leave it better than you found it. And all of those, everybody in the senior class has done that. Yeah. Yeah, it just goes by so fast. As a student athlete, you blink and it's over. But I sometimes will think about details of memories I have of them or meetings that were like 4 years ago, and I can remember verbatim in that. But to see how far that they've come, like as people, as students, and as athletes, it's like proud coach moment for sure. Yeah, and they've been just a pleasure to coach. Obviously, every player has their challenges and things like that, but at the end of the day, if we're going into a tough game, like they're coming with us for sure, and you know what you're going to get, and you know they're going to compete and give you everything they have.
Coach, you mentioned a couple times that this roster is your roster,
Mm-hmm.
From top to bottom and all that. Does that put any extra percentage of pride on a senior day, or do you treat this like you treated last year's senior day?
We didn't do senior day last year at all because of COVID, and with the COVID rule, we didn't know what was going to happen with what everybody's going to do and stuff. But I wouldn't say like it's more important or anything like that, but this is probably the first senior day, like you mentioned, that we've coached the players kind of from start to finish. So it is unique in that way. But like I said, I'm just so proud of all of them, and getting to celebrate them one last time. I think everybody should be pretty excited about that.
Do you like where you guys are with 10, 11 days left in February?
Yeah, I think we're continuing to get better, and I think that we're going to be playing our best basketball in March, and that's our goal every single season, and that's a tribute to the players. They're the ones getting in and continuing to buy in and do the work. And I think they're excited. I think, looking at our conference, anybody can win on any given night, and I think the tournament down in Vegas it'll be exciting, and I think our team believes that if we go down and play well, we'll have a chance to win.
You mentioned that you do the celebration afterwards and all that. Do you worry about any other distractions? I mean, with 20, 21-year-old women, it's exciting, and how have you learned to deal with the distractions that you worry about?
I mean, it can be distracting because a lot of family members come in, and I think it's completely normal to want to play your best when people are watching you, that you care about what they think. And so I think there is a little added pressure, anytime you have a lot of family come in to watch you play, and that could be on the road too. And then maybe a little bit knowing this is your last regular season game, you want to make sure you play well. And sometimes when you focus on those things, you're worried about the wrong things and it goes the wrong direction quickly. So we will talk about that stuff before the game. And also I like to talk to the rest of the team about listen, these people have added pressures. And so you got to make sure that you're really ready so that you can really help them in these moments. So yeah, I think there's some things there.
What do you think you take away now? I know it's been a couple weeks, but since you guys played Colorado State last time, just knowing what they're going to bring.
Yeah, they're really good defensively. They hold teams usually below 60 points, and they're tough to score against. And then offensively, they're really good at just driving the ball and getting in the paint, and they're a really good 3-point shooting team. So I think defensively we have to be a lot better. Offensively we didn't shoot the ball extremely well. And that was a time of year, we got back off the COVID pause, and we played 2 games and we were on the road for 8 days, and not an excuse, but we were not playing our best basketball then. And I do feel like we're playing better now, and we're going to need to play better to beat them. I think we need to play well, and I think we need to defend them much better than the first time around.
Any more questions for Coach?
Coach, I know a couple of your seniors are super seniors, but with that funky COVID rule, you got the possibility of a couple coming back. I mean, you're not obviously not going to, bring it up in the middle of the season with it going on, but how much do you hope and wish that a couple of them do return?
Well, I think there's players, a lot of times you'd love to coach them forever, if it was possible. But yeah, we'll talk about that after the season, and we obviously would love for the ones that can come back to come back.
All right, well, we have our 5 seniors here from way your father viewed it, from your left to right. We have Aliska Stabetakova. We've got Nia Alexander, Kylie Jimenez. Sorry, Kylie. I'm just back too. I always get mixed up with some people do Jimenez, some people do Jimenez. So Kylie Jimenez, Deja Hamilton, and Maya West. So we'll start with questions.
I would say it's kind of bittersweet, especially being here all 4 years. I've really learned to love this community, and that's why I came here, and it's exactly what I expected from the fans. Yeah.
I gotta say the same thing, being here 4 years, just based on the community and people I met, it's been, very exciting experience and fun. And just, the people that we met, they became family to us. And there's, a few out there that's, we've been around the longest and that, check in us, every day, parents. So I think that's something that is very nice here.
Well, I've only been here this season, but I've definitely enjoyed playing in front of the fans. It's a different atmosphere than what I'm used to, and it's been something I've really enjoyed. So, yeah.
For me, I would say it's bittersweet as well, but I'm not gonna lie, I am kind of ready to go. So I'm, this is my 6th year in college, 5th year playing. So I'm glad what I was able to do for this team, and I'm excited about the connections I've made and the people that I've made here. So yeah, that's how I feel.
Well, I have been here only 2 years, but just as the girls said, I feel like the family we build it here with the fans and the girls is gonna be definitely really missed.
Specifically, I guess for the trio that's been here a little longer, what does it mean? I guess we can start with Amaya and Deja. What does it just mean to be playing some really meaningful basketball as you guys round out? And I know there's a potential for coming back next year, but just as you round out, this year.
Talking about the potential?
Just what does it mean to know that, senior night isn't going to be the last celebration for you guys? You have meaningful basketball ahead in March.
Yeah, we're all very excited for March. We want to be able to go to the NCAA tournament. Like, that's a really big goal for all of us, especially as seniors. But just to have it with this group of girls, it feels great. And knowing that, like, we have the potential to get somewhere and do something really great and win a conference championship, just really exciting.
Can you just talk about the grind to get to this point? Because you guys have put in a lot of hours trying to get to this level for this program and look where you guys are.
Yeah, I think it took like a lot of hard work, especially for like there's being a lot of new girls that are coming, and then as Kylie, she wasn't here in the summer really, and her just coming like during like kind of you could say like off season when school was about to start. I think that's kind of like a progress where we made like from the summer to now, like just from summer workouts and not being able to like actually have like a full practice and just kind of doing like maybe an hour workouts, whether it be guards and post or like just a mixture. So I feel like just as the year went on, like we kind of like put our pieces together, and I feel like we still are. So I wouldn't say like we're still defined as like, I don't know, like I wouldn't say we're defined still. Like we still have things that we're trying to accomplish individually and together. So yeah.
Nia and Kylie, with all y'all up here, there's a possibility like, some of y'all could come back next year, got eligibility remaining, but for you two, this is really it. Knowing that, does it change really your perspective of how you move forward in these last couple of games as you head into the Mountain West tournament?
You can go first.
Yeah, I think it definitely does put things into perspective. Like you said, you're going to be playing for possibly the last time, depending on what we decide to do after. So it's bittersweet, like Nia said before. We've been here, we've done it for 5 years, but I'm also excited to finish out the season.
Yes. The mindset for me, and I'm sure for a lot of my teammates, is definitely going to be the same going into the game as far as like our preparation, our determination to win. I think a lot of us, we kind of give it all every time we do step on the floor, so it's not going to feel too much different. I think that our teammates, they have our back and they know this is our last year, so they're going to try to help us go as far as we can. And like Amaya said, that's to win the championship and go to the NCAA tournament. So.
Kylie, what's it meant to you just to be able to play with your sister this year? I mean, to be able to round out your college career like that, I feel like it's pretty special.
Yeah, it definitely is pretty special. It's been fun. Not everyone gets to do it, so we've definitely enjoyed the extra time we got to spend together. But I've loved every second of it.
My coach has mentioned it throughout this season that, in a way, this is her first complete roster.
Mm-hmm.
All of you and all of your teammates were, directly recruited and all that. I think she holds a little bit of a special place in her heart for that. I mean, I'm curious if you agree with that. Being now you go down in history as Amanda's first recruit. Is it a little bit more special, or is it something you don't worry about?
I think it is pretty special, especially for her to come 4 years ago and then to see how much success she's made over these 4 years and like how much we've grown each year. So I would say it's pretty special.
Do you feel like you guys are playing your best ball, Maya, going into the last few days of March, or February or into March?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I feel like it. I really do. Especially beating New Mexico and then beating Fresno at home. We really struggled to win on the road, and that was one of our keys for last week. So I think we are playing our best basketball right now.
I guess for Deja or Maya, Mia, just what do you think has been different about this group this year? If there's like a couple words you guys could use to describe what's been different, because you guys have been around the program for a while now.
I wouldn't say a word, but like some I feel like is like we just figure it out, like good or bad, like whether it be on and off the court or at practice, like we tend to find a way to figure it out and like find something that's like a common ground for all of us, like something for us to all like manage, and whether that be each other or just like little things that we can control on and off the court to make each other better every day.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say that we're more connected this year, and with us having, multiple people coming back from last year, whereas the other years, we've had different people leave. I think we've been able to get a sense of camaraderie and understanding and trust, and that's what's allowed us to win more games this year. So I agree with what Deja said.
Same with me. I don't have anything to add.
Aliska, am I pronouncing that right?
Alishka.
Aliska, sorry.
No, you-
I'm curious, did you ever think, let's say as a teenager growing up, that your journey would go, let's say Czech Republic and then Oklahoma, right?
Mhm.
And then Reno, Nevada? I mean, did you think that would be your journey, or, and how have things worked out for you?
I would honestly never even dream about it. I remember when I was little, I asked my mom because in my hometown there was a national team of girls playing, and I just came to her and I was like, "Mom, I want to be in national team," and she just laughed at me basically. She didn't want to be mean, but she was like, "You're playing the lowest competition in Czech, and how do you want to go to national team?" And I was like, "Okay, just watch me." And after 2 years after that, I went to next level, and another year after that, I went to extra league, which was the highest junior league in Czech. 2 years after that, I was playing with seniors, the highest competition. And after was my senior year of high school, and I was like, well, what's higher than that? And I also made it to national team. And after I was like, well, where should I go now? Because I'm not done. I just don't feel like I'm not satisfied. And my mom was like, well, what about United States? And I was kind of laughing at her this time. I was like, how could I go to United States? And here I am right now. So I would never say that I could finish here or came here, and it just happened with hard work and believing in yourself. So.
What have you learned from just some of your teammates that you'll remember about, United States, the culture here in America? So I'm sure it's just very different.
It's very different, and I've learned a lot. The reason why I came here was also I was always defensive player, and I didn't really care, not really care, but I wasn't really looking at the basketball from offensive side and that you need to score and stuff. So that's what I've learned here, that it is important, and being dangerous from the player who you play against. So just looking at the basket and being mean and aggressive. What Coach G always say, yeah. And there's has been a lot of stuff out of basketball what I've learned too, but we would be here for hours if I would have to talk about it.
I've got a couple more minutes of play before we gotta get my practice. More questions, guys? Kylie, kind of same question. I'm curious, did you see your journey going from the Portland area to Reno, and was that something you expected? Did you say, yeah, I'll take a fifth year, or what were you thinking before this?
I had no idea what I was gonna do at the end of last season. I went back home and really tried to figure it out and decided to take my fifth year. And then I knew, I'd spent 4 years at Portland State, and I wanted to challenge myself a little more and see if I could go somewhere else. So I ended up here, and I definitely think it was the right choice, right place for me.
Who do you expect to be the most emotional from this week?
Maya?
Me.
You agree?
You're gonna see me cry. I'll probably cry.
Unanimous. Why is that gonna be?
I'm very emotional.
Cause she's a sissy.
I am, though. I can embrace it. I cry with everything. I can cry at somebody getting a puppy in a movie, not even in real life. So I'm probably going to be the one in tears. It's okay, though.
You're the reason Amanda wants to do it after the game instead of before.
Oh, probably. Probably.